Is that Sarah calling?
It is her representation has called.
Nader-ish?
No, I love it. I love it. So won't you smile a while for me?
Is there a track people like to play for you when you come on? Like I Fucked Matt Damon or something?
Oh, yeah. No, I haven't heard that one in a long time. I think that holds up.
Yeah, it does. No, it's very funny.
Maybe, I don't know.
You really, you guys, I was looking at the video today and I'm like, wow, they really spent a lot of time on this. There's a lot of work went into this.
The genius of it. Yeah.
Really had fun.
And yet, not really. We wrote the song the night before and recorded it. And then Matt Damon came in. We shot at a hotel. We had until noon. So we had 2 hours or something, but we just run and get, but it came out really well.
It did. Now,
I can't believe we're talking about something from a million years ago. But.
I know, but you have so much stuff to talk about. Now, were you time limited by his schedule? Is it 'cause you said we only had 2 hours?
What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I remember it because he had a hard out. Oh, showbiz speak.
Yeah.
Because his daughter, I really know the jargon. His daughter had a Halloween pageant.
Okay,
wow.
So it wasn't to get to some really important movie. Halloween pageant.
No,
okay.
It was the greatest reason ever.
Yeah. Well, when it's Matt Damon's reason, you're just going to take it seriously anyway because he's Matt Damon. He's a trustworthy soul, isn't he? In all ways?
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
You really sold
Unless
that,
I'm
Sarah.
fucking him. I'll watch anything Matt Damon's in. I love it. He's so
do too.
good.
I like him.
I loved him in $1 Million Baby. Oh, wait, that's that actress that looks like him.
Oh.
Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank.
Oh, my God. You're a terrible person.
I know. I don't know him. And yes, I am a terrible person.
Hey, let's get the
Meanwhile,
plugs in.
I saw Boys Don't Cry with my dad.
What?
Oh, no. Really?
Oh, my God. I mean, I've only seen 2 movies with him. Cocoon when I was 12 or something, and then Boys Don't Cry. I didn't know what it was about.
Isn't that when the giant penis comes up on screen?
No, that's The Crying Game.
Oh, The Crying Game.
Boys Don't Cry is Hilary Swank.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that move.
Yeah, that's
Right,
still
that's
awkward
rough.
for a daughter to watch with her dad.
Definitely.
Oh, my God. That, scene where she's, brutally raped. It's the whole theater was silent. My dad was just going, oi, oi, oi. So I want to fucking die.
That's his way of breaking up the awkwardness.
Sarah's show is called Grow Some Lips at the Fillmore. You got Saturday night in Detroit. Now, what's Grow Some Lips all about? Am I behind the times here? Should I know this?
I don't know. Grow a pair of lips. I'm just saying, I know we say balls, and
Right.
that's great. I'm not trying to be it should be a woman's version, but it's just as fun to say, and it just makes a little more sense. I mean, balls for you're strong or brave or what's more fragile than human balls? It doesn't even make sense.
You know what's funny? I was looking, this is so stupid. I was looking at your lips going, wait, does Sarah think she has thin lips or something? Is this about getting your lips blown up or what's going on here? But your lips look perfectly normal to me.
I have very normal lips.
Yes. And are you tired of people telling you how young you look? Because I was watching you with Conan going over kind of the history of you being on the show before he wrapped up, and he was showing some clips, and you look so much like you looked in 95 or 94. It was kind of amazing, and I know people say it all the time, but I'm just going to be, again, a little lowest common denominator and point it out. What's up? Do you have great genes in your family?
I think I do have really good genes. I mean, I don't look the same as I did. I definitely look older, but I feel like I don't know. My dad and my mom both looked good,
You look like you're not afraid to be.
Except for when my mom died.
Oh,
Sorry.
That doesn't usually
I'm
look so
glad
good.
you laughed. I just as it was coming out, I was like, "That's not very funny."
No, my mom didn't look very good when she died either. I can verify that. No,
my oldest sister is a rabbi, and when she's in rabbi mode, she's all holy and stuff. And then when my mom died, and she was like, sweetie, I'm going to do the traditional dressing of the body if you want to come. And I was like, no. She's like, okay, I understand. Like, I guess you put the body in an outfit. I don't know. And then she came back and I was like, how did it go? And she goes, I couldn't do it. I just threw the clothes on her and left. Like, she just like tossed it on her body and left. She was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, it's scary. She's not there anymore. It's just like a weird body.
Well, when you say my sister, Sarah, I immediately think of the only reference point I have is I remember you telling a story about your sister who was throwing up in a college dorm or something, and some guy was pulling on her panties, and so if you can just take it from there.
That's Jodine, and okay. She got really drunk in college, and it was like, co-ed bathroom, and she raced to the bathroom, and she was throwing up so hard. I said this in my last special, and it's like, I feel like I'm just the kind of comic where if I get serious, people will buy that I'm gonna get really serious, so it like I'm that like obnoxious that you can buy that I would talk about like rape. So like
I wasn't sure what was coming, to be honest.
Well, right. So she's throwing up so hard, and while she's throwing up, she can feel someone is pulling her underwear down. Ooh. And she freaks out, and she finishes throwing up, and she turns around, and nobody's there because she was shitting herself.
So great.
Well, anyway, when you say my sister, that's what I thought of immediately. I'm sure you've made other references.
No, I've got 3 of them. They all have very distinct stories.
Okay. I didn't realize you were from New Hampshire, and I was totally surprised to find that out. I was watching because you did a podcast with Mayim Bialik. And so you were talking about being from the live free or die state. I'm not sure where in New Hampshire you were from, but could you pick up Boston radio from there?
Yeah.
You did? Did you ever listen to WAAF 107.3? Nonstop rock.
Of course.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, I used to work there a long time ago.
I tell if she's being serious or not.
Oh my God! Yeah, I think she is. But I wasn't a kid when you were on the radio.
You would have been.
I was probably like already living in LA.
No, you would have been. You were like 17 or 18. No, I'm older than you. And I was on WAF.
Oh my God, that makes me so happy.
Well, it made me happy It made me happy that you thought I was young, so that we both feel good. But yeah,
I'm at the point where I just assume everyone's younger than me now. Like my doctor is younger than me. Like it's horrifying.
I just went through that experience too. I'm like, hey, how does this guy know more than me? He's way younger.
That is really weird, isn't it?
Frightening.
Bummer.
Well, speaking of frightening, you're getting in aging. Sarah's been talking about her big fear of aging, which is very specific, and it's getting dementia and then masturbating in public. Which is so utterly specific and yet possible.
Very.
I know. Well, like you only don't fear it. You only didn't fear that because you didn't think of it. But like now, aren't you afraid? Like that? I'm so afraid of that.
Yeah, but the beauty.
And every time I masturbate, I think like, am I really at like my grandson's bar mitzvah? And I just think I'm like.
But see, you don't know, and that's a really sexy thing to think about, masturbating.
That's true. I mean, that was the first place I went.
I can't actually. Yeah, I need to think about that in order to masturbate.
I should have aged you 30 years or 40 years, but I didn't. But hey, I want to go back to New Hampshire for a second because this is going to sound really stupid, but I was getting ready for having Sarah on, and so I'm like, well, who's the most famous person from New Hampshire? So I actually Googled it, and who do you think is the most famous person from New Hampshire?
Adam Sandler.
No, he did not come up that high. I don't know if people know he's from New Hampshire or not, but I saw 3 lists, and I'll just put it this way. You are more famous than astronauts or presidents because Franklin Pierce, the 14th president's from New Hampshire, and he's like 3rd, 8th, 10th. And then who else? Robert Frost is way down. Oh, Alan Shepard, the astronaut. Oh, wow. He's like 6th, 8th, 5th. And list number 1 has Triple H is number 1, then Sarah, then Mandy Moore. Then Matt.
Triple H is from New Hampshire?
Yes, Triple H is from New Hampshire.
Mandy Moore.
And get this, number 5 is Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, cool.
Dio's from New Hampshire. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Second list, Seth Meyers is number 1. J.D. Salinger, Matt. I say Matt Czuchy, the actor.
No idea.
I didn't know who he was either.
Oh my God.
And then,
that guy? Oh yeah, he was in like The Good Wife or something.
That's right. Yeah,
and
he's in a lot of
he
stuff.
has a TV show. Oh, I didn't know he was from there.
He is. And then Sarah Silverman, then Daniel Webster, Alan Shepard. Third list, number 1 is Sarah Silverman, Mandy Moore, Franklin Pierce, the 14th president, then John Irving, Triple H, Alan Shepard, Dan Brown, Adam Sandler, Robert Frost, Daniel Webster.
So why is Sandler so low on that list?
I know. What is it?
Adam Sandler is clearly the most famous person from New Hampshire. Like, that's totally absurd.
Sarah, perception is reality. You know that. Perception is reality. He's not perceived to be from New Hampshire. And
You know, Adam Sandler's mom was my nursery school teacher.
No way.
And I never
New Hampshire's
heard
that
this.
small.
I never knew this until,
it makes New Hampshire sound so small. I mean, I'm
I
expecting
know, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'm expecting you to say J.D. Salinger. Oh, he's my godfather, you know. Robert, I'm pretty. Dio's my grandfather.
Ken Burns is my dentist. But yeah, she was and I never heard this story, but I guess she tells it where like, she was scolding a little kid who swore in class. And then I was overhearing, and then I leaned in and I go, those are at-home words.
So she remembered you. That's cool.
And
Yeah.
You were on
yeah.
SNL at the same time with Adam, correct? That very short.
I mean, I was there for 1 year. I think he helped get me on, but
really?
he couldn't help keep me on.
Well, it's interesting. I feel like you are kind of famous for, I mean, the story's almost more interesting because I can't figure out I'm looking at the people who were on that year who are all good, but it's like, there's no reason you shouldn't have been on a lot. And then I see you, and I thought, well, Sarah's so young, maybe she was shy. And I can't imagine Sarah being shy. But then you're in there in the roast 10, 12, 15 years later, mixing it up with the biggest guys out there. So were you a shy type when you were on
No, I was
SNL?
20. I was 22. You know, like I don't know. I was young. People say like, oh, I mean, they like excuses, but I think it's like they need to fire people, and like they fired like they fired Dave Attell too, who's like a genius, you know, like the greatest comic ever. But I mean, I've gone back and read the sketches I wrote, and they're bad. They're
really?
terrible.
Well, that's funny because
I don't know.
because you were saying that people are really mean to you on Twitter, and they say, I remember when you used to be funny, and you actually go, yeah, I think I was funnier back then. So I must have just had a period.
Oh yeah, I was like, God, yeah, like please, let's make it's what Twitter is like. It's such a cesspool. It used to be fun to just be funny on it, and now I just feel like I need to like push out information, or something. But
So
I don't really do a lot on Twitter anymore.
Why are people shitting you on Twitter? I mean, that's kind of a dumb question, but I'm just curious. It's funny to me that you even read responses.
Everybody is.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I definitely don't.
Wait, what?
Why are people crappy to you on Twitter? I mean, is there something specific they get mad about? Politics?
No, that's all Twitter is. But you guys don't get like mean. I don't even look at it.
Yes,
really.
absolutely. No, I don't.
I mean, sometimes people go like, "Oh my God, how do you put up with all that?" And I'm like, "With what?" Because like I'm not looking. You have to like protect yourself.
I'm so glad.
But I just
Yeah, of course. No, Twitter's Twitter. So I was really glad you were on
Twitter
today.
isn't real.
What?
I mean, Twitter isn't really. I think Chappelle said it best. It's not real. It's not real.
It
doesn't represent. It represents the 7% of the farthest of each of the farthest. Extremes.
Yeah, my non-friends, people aren't in the business. They're not on Twitter. None of them are on Twitter. They never read Twitter. They don't care about Twitter.
No.
They don't see what's trending on Twitter. But I do want to ask you, and I was excited you were on this week because I hope you watch it, the Chris Rock Selective Outrage. Did you check it out?
I did. That was my whole plan. You know, just like that was my whole night was just watching that.
And what'd you think?
I thought it was great.
I did too. I thought it was fantastic.
It was great.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
good.
just like it's just like there's no is there like no money or no likes in like just liking somebody's stand-up special? Like, I don't know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah, he's still getting shit about it though, and I'm like, what? I mean, either you laughed or you didn't, but I just hear a lot of people saying, he's you can't joke about black women. He shouldn't have called Jada Pinkett a bitch. And then today, somebody from
right. Sorry.
Somebody from The Root was on with Don Lemon saying that he deserved to be slapped.
Oh, God.
Because of the joke, the original joke. I'm like, oh, my God.
What? I mean, the only thing that sucks about the original joke was that he said it off the cuff, and it wasn't like the strongest joke, but it's like, oh God, why does that joke have to be the one that everyone quotes? Because it was just like in the moment, like reacting to her bald head, like right. Demi Moore's bald head. I mean, I think anyone else would like if I was in a couple that that happened to. I feel like we would just look at each other like, oh, he doesn't know it, and just laugh. And then, maybe if he won, he could say something like, actually, my wife has alopecia but and Rock is completely right that it wasn't about the moment as much as all the history they've had, and like that there was like acrimony. Is that the right word? Between him and her. I mean, I reading like think pieces, sure, I'll go like, oh, I guess that's a good point or this or that, but it's a fucking comedy show. Like,
thank you.
Exactly.
Are we at a point where like somebody's hour, you must find every single joke in the hour funny? I mean, if you get like 10 laughs, it's a win. And there were so many more than that.
Amen.
Rock special. I mean, I thought the Lululemon thing was brilliant.
I love that.
Outrage, like you're complaining about it on a device that's made by like children in China. I mean, we all have that hypocrisy. It's not like don't ever complain because it will be, but like, it's great. It was interesting. It was like, I mean, the whole thing about Michael Jackson and
R. Kelly. Yeah.
R. Kelly. Yeah. And then the Lululemon thing I just thought was hilarious.
I laughed so hard. I laughed really hard about the eternal punishment for Robert Kardashian. That made me laugh hard. I know I'm a terrible person.
Oh my God.
And I laughed really hard about JayZ would still want Beyonce if she worked at Burger King, but she wouldn't want him if he worked at Burger. I mean, there were some nice jokes. I laughed a lot.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's like where he's at now. Here's where he's at now. He's talking about his grown daughters. He's talking about, like it's just, and then to address, I mean, I thought it was like he said nothing. He made zero comments about it for a whole year and waited to go and then do a first ever live on Netflix. The second time he's on live television after that slap, and he talks about it was just pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. And some people are saying, oh, it's old, or why are we still talking about this? Yeah, because he didn't go on Oprah or Gail and go, oh my God, I can't believe he slapped me. So I thought it worked out fine.
Like, he played Muhammad Ali. I played Pookie from New Jack City.
So he, go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
I was just about evaluating things, now and then. I mean, you've been in that mold, and one of the apologies that you made, or semi-apology, which I don't like when comics make apologies, but that's easy for me to say, is the apology.
I know people say that, but yeah, go on.
No, you can complete that thought. But I wanted to say, can you please take back the apology about Britney Spears now that we've seen what has happened to her since? I mean, that woman has problems.
That's a great idea, taking back apologies.
Why should I mean, listen, I
take it back.
Am against apologizing. Oh, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yes.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, I'm against apologizing unless you're sorry. It's
right.
just like, I mean, if this were one-on-one, I would be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't want to make, like the last thing I want to do is make somebody feel bad. You know what I mean? I mean, listen, it's like, she didn't sign up for a roast. I mean, I was duped too, because I was hired to make jokes about the night, and I followed her. So I knew I would have to make jokes, and I wrote hard jokes, like
they were funny too.
That was, they can both be true.
Yep.
Like that,
Yep.
The jokes were hard and funny, but like looking back, I absolutely feel horrible that it made her feel so bad. I mean, it was completely untrue that like she heard me saying it during rehearsal and it made her, it ruined her performance because I know I didn't say the jokes during rehearsal. And MTV specifically, what? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
yes.
we were just saying that she lied about it.
I'm so sorry. My last interview, I kept saying, well, her people did, because
bullshit.
MTV very specifically says, like, do not do your jokes in the dress rehearsal. Just say, like, joke, 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 because they don't want to be held responsible for anything I say, and it's live. They want it to be, whatever it is.
Right.
They do. They just don't want to have to take the blame.
Well, let's
so
be clear.
I know
though.
that she didn't hear the jokes ahead of time.
And let's be clear, the jokes were really funny. The Paris Hilton jokes were hilarious. And I read, because that was one of the first things I thought of today, was like, Sarah's apology to Paris Hilton. And so I read about it, and I saw that you felt bad about it when you saw her there. And I thought, I can believe that.
Yeah.
I totally believe that. But then I was feeling like, but what was the Britney joke? Because I want you to take the apology back for the Britney joke. I'm kind of like Mark. What was the joke that was so awful?
I think it was, and you know what? I didn't write, I think he would want credit for this. I think Jesselnick gave me this joke. Listen, it's not nice, but in terms of just structurally a joke, it's perfect.
Okay.
Which is something like, she's only 25 and she's already accomplished everything she's going to accomplish in life. Or is that what it is? I can't remember if I wrote it or he wrote it, but
something about her kids. Her kids are the two most adorable mistakes of her life. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't. I mean, okay, it's over. You can't take apologies back. I wish you could, but is she really sitting around feeling? I mean, these people act like they're sitting around feeling the pain of these jokes from this one night, 20 or 15 years later, and I go, what? Are you kidding me? I mean, Sarah, aren't there people that made you feel bad? Do you want them to apologize to you 10 years later? I'm not knocking your apology. I'm just knocking down.
No, I would never want them to apologize. Oh yeah, of course listen, comics are not as thick-skinned as you think, like, of course there have been things that made me feel bad, but in a million years, I wouldn't want people to apologize, but that's because I am a comic, and that's just how it goes. Like, that's something for me to grapple with and to understand that my self-esteem can't come from outside forces or we're doomed,
Did you ever
But I think that's a struggle for everybody.
Yeah.
You didn't ever apologize to Joe Franklin, did you?
I actually didn't.
Good. That was a perfect.
That was a pretty outlandish accusation.
But that's why that punchline works so well, because it's Joe Franklin.
Yes. Sarah, you said, you're not as thick-skinned, and I think, nobody's that thick-skinned. They may act like they are, but I just wonder, in all those roasts, because you're in so many roasts, and there's so many brutal shots taken, was there ever a shot where you almost, like, felt it? Like, because I never see it on your face. You look like, oh, that's funny, but was there ever just one or two where you went, oh, God, oh, hold it together?
Oh, my God, totally. Like, I mean, mostly it's just funny, and it's like I'm a whore, I'm hairy, I'm Jewy, I'm like all those things are like, it just feels like love, because it's like your friends doing it, But I mean, I was definitely like the last roast I did, there were like old jokes, and I was like, what? I'm not even the oldest comic here by far. But
a new category opened up.
That's on me.
Yeah.
Like,
I guess the category opened up.
Exactly. Like, you know, I'm in a new like genre of jokes, so I had to just adjust. But like, I would be such an asshole if I complained about that. My jokes were brutal. Like, it's brutal, and I know I don't mean them. So, you know, you have to take it all with a grain of salt. So, I mean, that's the thing about a roast is the rule really is you have to like love each other. You know. Did
Jonah Hill make a joke?
And then you can be as brutal as.
I think Jonah Hill made a joke about you. Didn't Jonah Hill make a joke about you having a baby and that, but you can't have a baby because you're too. I mean, it was really pretty boldly, you know, because you're too old.
Listen, Jonah Hill can say whatever he wants. I mean, he got a lot of jokes flung at him.
Yeah,
I think I had one. Before the show, Seth Rogen rolled a fatty because that was the only way Jonah Hill could get on stage. But I mean, like,
that was really funny. That was great. I laughed.
I know, but I mean, it's mean. You know, it's mean. Yeah. But I love Jonah. I mean, like, he was so scared, and he was like, "It wasn't bad." Like, he was so sweet about it.
No, everyone was. That was a great line, no doubt about it. Sarah Silverman, if you want to see Sarah Saturday night. Sarah's at the Fillmore, which what a great Saturday night date for Detroit. And we're so glad to talk to Sarah because...
Come on, Detroit.
Saturday.
See if you've got the lips.
Amen. Yeah, grow some lips.
I did for you guys. Now that I'm like thinking of jokes, when Richard Belzer died, I loved him so much. May he rest in peace. Yeah. There was a roast. I can't remember. It was like maybe a roast of Quentin Tarantino or something, and he was on the dais, and I said, Richard Belzer is the third funniest one on SVU after Ice-T and Rape. Sorry, I just thought you guys would like that.
Don't apologize. That's
so horrible.
That's a damn good joke.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm a
really
remorseful roaster.
It's so funny, and to see you, you know, I've seen you for so long, and then to see you in serious movies, and I can't believe you're doing Maestro with Bradley Cooper. Did you know this?
Yeah.
No,
she's playing Leonard Bernstein's sister.
Oh, really?
Opposite of this Bradley Cooper project, where he's got all the prosthetics on just to make him.
Oh, what?
Not be as hot when he looks in the mirror for himself.
Cool.
Yeah.
Was that a ding dong telling us to leave?
Or someone was at her door.
Was that a sign to get off
Sorry,
with Sarah?
how do you know that?
I heard a ding dong.
Nah.
No?
It was. I just had to let someone in.
Oh, okay.
Someone was at her house.
Who came over? Is it the Fix-It guy or is it a friend? Can we know anything
It's
about
my friend Izzy.
Oh, okay. Aww. What do you and Izzy have planned? Anything exciting?
It's Bradley Cooper. Hey, Bradley. Nice to see you, Bradley.
Hey,
he was great.
Does he get mad? Does he get mad if you ever call him Brad? Why is he always Bradley? Can you ever call him Brad?
I don't know. I've never called him Brad, but I don't know if I've called him anything. I don't think I've been like, Bradley, come over here. It's just been like, hey, can I ask you a question?
He doesn't seem like a Brad, does he?
No, not at all. It seems like a Brad.
I'm not sure if he's as hot if he's Brad. I don't know why.
No,
that's so stupid.
But then there's Brad Pitt. Brad Pitt is a hot Brad.
Yeah. No, that's true.
About that.
Anyway,
right.
Sarah, we have this conversation with comedians, and I feel like I just should get off the subject, but just about, what couldn't be done now. And it makes me crazy because I love funny stuff, and I just feel like, what a terrible position to be in. That, we did this thing really funny, crank yankers, but we probably couldn't do that now. I don't know. You probably could do crank yankers, but I hate it.
Right.
It's just so crazy.
What, you mean like just like how sensitive people are with and stuff? Is that what you're talking about?
Well, just that if you take, the standard seems to be, you take the most offensive thing Sarah Silverman plays, you play it for the person most likely to be offended, and that's the standard. That's the standard bearer. Instead of the people that just laugh their ass off. Why can't we just laugh at the stuff we think is funny, and then nobody else needs to know about it or hear about it? It's like everyone's telling on everybody.
Well, some jokes are at-home jokes now, but in general, it's, I don't know. I don't have as much a problem with it. Like, I just, because go with my gut, and then if I fuck up, then I apologize. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's just what is. So there's nothing really to choose and complain, but it's you still got to do stand up and figure out a way. And comedy always finds a way.
Well, I always feel
there are lots of words.
There are a lot of people. No, you're right. Because we were doing radio for so long, and after the Super Bowl, for some reason, they were like, "It's morning radio's fault. You can't say anything excretory, sexual." I mean, it was just ridiculous. I mean, we really had to kind of change our game. It was morning radio's fault. They went after morning radio after the Janet Jackson Super Bowl tit exposure.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the FCC was like, we're cracking down on morning radio because, Howard Stern was a big target then.
So dumb.
And it was like overnight.
Right.
There were, all these memos about what you can and can't do. And then they'd be like, yeah, but you got to be funny. So do your thing and don't worry about it. After they tell you, for 2 hours what you really shouldn't do by the book. But we still want to get ratings and make money. So it was very complicated.
Right.
But I feel like comedians who were mid-career.
Yeah, I mean, you guys talk about comedians, but I mean, morning radio, that's live.
Yeah.
And you can make no mistakes. I mean, it's just crazy. It is a little wackadoodle. That's why it's that's why I think it's okay to apologize so that you can be free and well-intentioned, but mostly funny. And if you mess up, that you go over the line because the line's always changing. Then you go, "Oh gosh, I'm sorry." I don't know. It takes nothing away from me to apologize. It just makes other people feel heard, and who cares? That's nice.
Well, I'm glad you're comfortable with it. I mean, you have to be, and I figure it can't really impact your show and your fans all that much. You're still Sarah Silverman, and you're still there Saturday night. And a lot of people are going to want to go have fun, and they're going to have fun. And the Fillmore is a great place. Have you played the Fillmore a lot in Detroit? The Fillmore or the Fox?
I don't know if I've played the Fillmore. I think I did. I did about 6 or 7 years ago.
Oh, I love the Fillmore.
But I love Detroit.
Yeah, you seem like you'd be primed for here, and I love that theater, and I'm sure you guys will have a ball Saturday night. And Sarah, finally, I'm so glad we got you on, and let you and your guest.
Oh my gosh.
Whoever it is.
Izzy.
Yeah, Izzy. Let you and Izzy go have some fun, and we'll let you go.
All right. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Sarah. Anything else you want to plug? You want to mention your podcast? Anything else?
Yeah, Sarah Silverman podcast, but mostly Detroit, baby.
Yeah, Saturday night.
The Fillmore.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Saturday night. See you there.
Great talking to you.
Awesome. Bye, guys.
Bye.
You too.
All right.